everyone to our podcast series, Grand Hour, the best of Vietnam, is provided by Luxo Media Vietnam. And today's topic is about tourism and luxury traveling. And it is our pleasure to welcome Mr. Lars Kerfin, the General Manager of the Méridien Saigon.
Thank you very much,
Pleasure.
Jason. Thank you.
All right, so first of all, my question, a very unrelevant question, but it's a typical question for this show. Which watch that you wear to the show today?
Oh, I mean, time is relevant, so I take that as a very relevant question.
Okay.
I have a Maserati watch today, and actually, it's very special to me because it was the birthday present of my wife and my son, and it combines the two things which I love very much: cars and watches. So perfect combination.
Nice choice, and it fit you perfectly.
Thank you very much, Jason.
All right, so Mr. Kerfin, let's talk about your personal story first. All right, so how long have you been in this industry, and on what occasion that bring you and keep you attached to it?
I think let's say I'm a little bit more than 25 years in this industry. I started very young. And actually, it's my mother got me into the industry because if it would be me, I would be a special force soldier or something like that. Um, but I think my mother was a little bit worried about my life, so she said, "Why don't you try hotels?" I try hotels, and I loved it very much. Actually, I started as a waiter, so my first job was actually as a waiter, and worked my way through these different departments, different hotels, and I love it. You have to be passionate about it. It's a great industry.
Yeah, 25 year. It's a long time, right?
It is.
Yeah. And as a general manager and an expert in managing hotels, resorts for the last 25 years. So what are the achievements that you have gained so far and what cost you to gain that achievement?
I think if I looking back at these years, and if I would like to say what I'm most proud of, what I achieved, I think I built a group of great talents of people. It's a people business, and the people I was able to work with and to develop and help them to grow a career. I think this is something I was most proud with. It's an industry which has its challenges. Clearly, it can be very challenging, and especially if you are in charge of a hotel and in this part of the world, you face your up and downs. And I mean, we just come out of one of the worst crises, so these kind of challenges is certainly something which you have to overcome and make sure being able to continue to care about the people.
Right. So where you originally from?
I'm from Germany. Actually, it's an interesting story. I'm born in Mexico City. Born in Mexico City. My father was working for Volkswagen, building cars, hence German. We're building cars. That's what we do. So born in Mexico City, and then moved back to Germany. So I've grown up at the southern part of Germany, border to Switzerland, Austria. So this is my heritage.
All right. So in your early age, right?
Mhm.
So can you share about your hospitality, education, where you
Mhm.
got it in Switzerland or in Germany?
In Germany. Actually, I started very young. The first time I got exposed to hospitality was I was 16 years old. I worked as a steward. I was cleaning dishes and as a summer job in a hotel, and this is where I started liking that. Then I started, I think 17 years, I started working full time in a restaurant, a Michelin star restaurant actually. So this is how I started straight at the top in terms of luxury, and I loved it. It was a world I was not used to, and food, wine, all of this really made me passionate. So started in food and beverage, and then after a couple of years, I moved over into the room side and got a little bit a view of all the different departments. And now I'm basically supposed to run the show.
I think like everyone had to start low, right? Like myself, when I was in the state,
Mhm.
I start with washing dishes and do
Yeah,
the room service
yeah.
too. So I think that's the best time. That's the sweet time that I learned a lot from that. And I think like so do you, right?
It's a great experience, and it makes you humbled. It makes you understand as well what these team members, which we sometimes forget about or oversee, what they deliver on a daily basis. It's a tough job.
Yeah. And having been in many countries before, so what are the lessons that you acquired professionally and personally?
I think professionally is mainly I have to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn patience. I'm a German, and again, talking about time, first time I came to Asia, I have a meeting, 2 o'clock. I expect everybody to be there at 2 o'clock. Never worked out like that. So in the beginning, this irritated me, but you have to be a little bit more flexible and build this in. So I think flexibility and patience is something I learned. My mom basically told me as well. We always traveled a bit. I haven't had much money, but we always had money for traveling because, in her opinion, traveling is the best education which you can get. And I think if more people would travel and would be open-minded into different cultures, different people, different thinking, I think the world would be a better place.
Yeah, traveling is like, I think that's the most important and like the precious time that you can learn from different culture, from different people, right? And so about your career path, that I bet that you've been in so many countries. So can you share more about that?
Actually, I didn't work in too many countries. I traveled to many countries. I worked in Germany. Actually, the last 20 years I spent in Thailand. I worked for 20 years in Thailand. Hua Hin, Bangkok, Pattaya, Samui. And since about nearly exactly a year, I'm in Vietnam, in Saigon, and I love it.
And why Vietnam and why Le Méridien?
Oh, it's the country is just so amazingly developing. This energy in it, and that's great. And you can see how that develops, how this grows, how it's moving forward, and in the speed it is doing. And actually, Le Méridien Saigon is reflecting that. When I came here and I looked at the hotel, I spoke with the owners and the plans for this hotel. It reflects very much what's happening in Vietnam, and I was very excited about it. And the last year has been pretty much a great run.
So as you all know, Ho Chi Minh City, or we can call Saigon, is the most vibrant city in Vietnam, right?
Hmm.
Highly developed, a lot of people, a lot of trafficking, always busy, right?
Hmm.
And Le Méridien is in the central of Saigon.
Correct.
So running that 5-star hotel in the central of Saigon. So what do you find is a difficult?
The difficult thing is that I think, as you say, Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon has a lot of great choices. When you go out, the amount of nice restaurants, bars, little cafes, beautiful hotels, which there are already, is pretty exciting. But at the same time, certainly it's a huge competition for us. Competition is good for the business, I think, because it inspires you, it gives you new ideas, you see great things, and you see that in this city there is demand for this, and this is great. So people in Saigon, they love to experience new things, and this is what the great thing about that. So this is where I enjoy working at Le Méridien Saigon, because we can build this thing, and we can feed this demand from the local people as well to experience this.
So in the next couple question, I'm gonna ask about more specific about Le Méridien and the tourism and accommodation industry in Vietnam. So how do you view the luxury tourism and accommodation industry in Vietnam market?
It's booming. I think it's interesting. I mean, I went to a couple of. I mean, what I do is, well, I travel into different markets like India, like Australia, in order to meet customers and to see the demand. And the demand for Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City in particular is so strong that everybody is excited about. They want to come. They want to experience it. So the reputation of Vietnam is very good. The biggest challenge for us at the moment is pretty much airlift and capacity. People want to come. The connectivity has to improve. But what I see and what we can foresee is it's a great way ahead of us.
It's booming, as you
Yes,
say, right?
absolutely,
And I
absolutely.
think the government is also, like have a great support to, to push the tourism, further and further
Yeah,
in recent
yeah,
years.
absolutely.
Yeah. And what is your opinion on forming a luxury hotel which follows sustainability? Sustainability, that's a term that people use
Yeah,
nowadays a lot. And how do you apply it to Le Méridien?
I think luxury and sustainability, they can go very well hand in hand if it's done right. It's something that we have to get away from this perception that we can just burn things off and whatever money can buy. It's about we have to care about where we operate in, and make sure that future generations can enjoy that as well. And I think luxury is very much about that. Yes, there are sometimes a little bit of premium prices, but through that we can as well afford to source the better products, to source the local products, which are sometimes a little bit more exclusive. That you don't have to import that from other areas like China or anything like that. You get good quality here, great quality, and we want to support this. And I think luxury supports this as well. People are more mindful of where they stay and what kind of carbon footprint they leave with it, and they're willing to pay a premium for that.
Yeah. So can you give me like more specific example that how you apply the sustainability
Yeah.
in your hotel?
It starts with small things. I mean, we just last year we started moving from this. You know that you come into a luxury hotel, you get these little bar soaps and all of them, and some people like to take them with them and have a whole collection at home of this, which is great. What we did last year, for example, we changed this from these small little bottles into these bigger dispensers, because the amount of plastic which we wasted on a regular basis is just huge. The other thing is like straws for drinks. The plastic which was used there in the past was huge. So we don't have plastic straws anymore in none of the Marriott. So we are part of Marriott hotels. In none of the Marriott hotels you will have plastic straws anymore. It's these things. We will reduce the food waste as well. We take a look. I mean, number one is that certainly in the preparation, but as well that we don't throw food away. We donate that. We give this to charity. We make sure that these things are taken care of.
Cutting the waste of the food and cutting the plastic usage is a right way to go.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
All right. So what is your hotel positioning in the competitive field?
We are a lifestyle hotel. What we deliver, it's a chic, has a bit of a European spirit into it, but certainly we connect as well to the local market. So it's a lifestyle, young brand. What we in particular, Le Méridien Saigon, I think what differentiates us in this market is when you take a look what happened in this hotel in the last year in terms of food and beverage. We're very food and beverage focused. So many people looking at hotels like you have a hotel with a restaurant. We have restaurants with a hotel. So and that's the direction we have been going in the last year, and this is how we continue to go. So we opened a new bar Son recently. Next week we're gonna open our new fine dining restaurant Acuna. We have a nightclub in the hotel. This all happened in the last year, and this is not where we stop. There will come more. So we keep the market interested.
That's interesting, sharing, because you create the ecosystem within your hotel, right? So people come to like any hotel, they're looking around, they say where to go at night, but in your hotel you have nightclub, you have fine dining restaurant, and you have bar sound or something.
You
So
don't have to
yeah,
leave.
we
You
have
don't have to
like
leave.
one-stop shop, right? You don't have to leave.
That's the whole idea of it. That's the whole idea. Yeah.
Awesome. So the unique selling point of your hotel, can you share about that?
I think I touched on that a little bit, and you actually saw that very well as well. Is that it's a hotel you can go, you don't have to leave. Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're looking for a more casual, vibrant dining experience, like in Son, where you can have a great party as well. You have a ladies' night. You can get fantastic drinks. Or if you really would like to have that high-end, fine dining, Michelin star level dinner experience in Acuna, or a family dinner in latest recipe, you have this all covered. And again, you can continue all night long. So we create this, as you say, this ecosystem where you have everything there. We do have rooms as well.
Yeah, so you get wasted in bougie, like final station.
Right,
You
don't
can go-
drive.
Yeah,
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Book a hotel room.
You have room upstairs. That's awesome. All right, so in Ho Chi Minh City, we have so many, five-star hotel. And so what if Le Méridien among the various five-star hotel and resorts in Vietnam?
I think what differentiates us, I mean, we have this combination of a great location in District 1, just next to the river.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful view there. And even other hotels in District 1, they don't have that kind of view which we're having. But I think the main thing is really the food and beverage offerings which we have. That's one of the big things. We have a very, very strong focus on service. I think that's something I'm extremely proud of, to see the team is passionate, is dedicated in delivering the best possible service. That doesn't matter where you come from, what you want to do, if you're a family, if you want to have a party, if you just here for business. It's about making sure that you feel at home. And I think that's something we have the feeling, the feedback we're getting from our customers. My team they're superstars, they're rock stars. They will make that happen.
All right, absolutely. And how about the plan of expansion in
Mhm.
Vietnam for your hotel?
Again, I think when you look back at what we changed over the last year alone, a nightclub, a bar, a restaurant, all I can say, we don't stop there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
we have
mean,
the next plans already in the pockets, which we're looking at. So there's more to come.
all right.
As a company in general, I mean, we are part of Méridien International. We are growing exponentially. I can see new projects coming on and new hotels coming up. So again, tourism in Vietnam is growing.
All right. So I hope to see more, like Meridian Hotel in different city in Vietnam in the future.
I would love that as well. I could use some brothers and sisters.
That's fantastic. So, what are the criteria, the basic standard for a five-star hotel? And is it hard to maintain the standard of a five-star hotel?
It is, and I think very often people think of a 5-star hotel and you tick the box, like you have a pool, you have a spa, you have in this supposed to make you a 5-star hotel, which I disagree with. I think what makes you a 5-star hotel is the level of service you provide. When I talk about service, it's like you personalize the service, you make people feel at home. At the end of the day, anybody who comes to us, it's our guests. If you have guests at your home, you make sure when they sit at the table, they have the best seat, they have the best food, they are taken care of. And this is something I preach my team as well, is that this is how you look at that. Yes, these are like, if you have family, friends coming to your home, I want you to look at that in the same way. In this case, they are paying for that, which is even better. But that's the concept. And once the team understands the concept, then I think the 5-star service, the 5-star standard is fulfilled,
Okay.
in my opinion.
So, and how about art?
Mhm.
Is it important in your opinion?
Art?
Yeah.
Art is absolutely. I mean, Le Méridien has a connection to art as well, where we would like to connect people. And when you look into the rooms, all our rooms, they have some art pieces. The lift landings have different art pieces as well. Every floor in the hotel has a different piece of art from local artists, and I think that's something where food is art. Again, our executive chef, and as well our chef in Acuna, I refer very often to them as artists because they create art on a plate. So art is important. Yes.
Definitely. So, have you ever like organized any art exhibition in your hotel before?
Since I'm here in the last year, we haven't done a particular one, but I know that we have a couple of plans. We have and as mentioned, we have existing art pieces in the hotel already.
Yeah.
But it's certainly something which we support and which
Taken
we,
into account,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Because this is a premium location that you have. So, and I was there. So I feel like an art exhibition, somehow is very connected to your
Absolutely.
hotel.
Yes.
Right. And human resource
Mhm.
is very important field in your industry,
Yeah.
right? So is it difficult to find and train, like the qualified staff in Vietnam, because we are not strong, of hospitality.
I think it depends on the way you look at that. Human resources and finding talent is, I think that's one of our number one challenge, because you have to find the right people. When we're looking at people, it's not necessarily what kind of university degree do they have, what kind of experience do they have. When I look at people and every team member which is guest facing, I meet them before they're being hired. And I just need sometimes just 5 or 10 minutes to spend with them, because I would like to see their passion and their fire and their dedication to that. Anything else we can train. We have the tools, we have the talents there in order to teach them what they need to know. I can't teach them attitude, I can't teach them passion. They have to bring that.
Yeah.
As long as they bring that, everything else we can do.
Awesome. So are there any difficult situation that you have encountered while working industry and in your hotel?
Hope we're just coming out of 3 years of COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, I worked 20 years in Thailand, and I always thought that I've seen anything in Thailand. A crisis for me, no problem. I've seen it all. I can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, in Thailand, I had red shirt protests, I had yellow shirt protests, I had twice a closed airport, I had floodings, I had tsunamis, I had bombings. I had bombs going off in front of my hotel, just around the
In
corner.
Bangkok.
In Bangkok.
Yeah.
I was running a hotel in the Ratchaprasong area in Bangkok, which is in the city center. If anything happens, it would have happened there. Because this is where you get the most attention. So I was constantly dealing with crisis. So I always thought that I've seen everything, no problem for me. I can handle that until COVID hit. COVID was an experience which I think in this industry, mind blowing in the worst possible way. Really, it grounded you. It gave you a very different perspective. Pushed a little bit the reset button. So in a certain degree, it was maybe as well. It was good. It was healthy, but it was a very tough time. If you're going through that, and I feel responsible for my team members. But I understand certainly as well the business. I can't have 500 people employed in a hotel which is closed. So going back and having to tell something like 200, 250 people that you won't have a job very, very soon. That's tough. That's heartbreaking.
A tough time.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of, like 5-star hotel and resort around the region. A beautiful one, they have closed down, like after COVID, and the recovery is very tough for them too.
Yeah.
So I think like in the future, like, do you have any like emergency plan for like pandemic situation?
I hope we never need this again.
Yeah.
I think it's something where we took our learnings from that, and it's something you can't prepare for. But I think we have, as a hotel and as a company, we have pretty good measurements in place that we protect us and protect our team members as much as possible. There's no 100% insurance, but I think to limit the risks, I think we are in a very good place.
At least we have experience, right?
Right.
So we know how to deal with it, and if it's happened again, so we know how to deal.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So besides like a side question, have you noticed that in Vietnam we just have like Michelin guide for restaurant and hotel and food in F&B industry. So what is your opinion about Michelin guide in Vietnam?
As I mentioned, I think I started my career in a Michelin star restaurant. So I have a connection to that. I consider myself a foodie. Whatever city I go, one of the first things I don't look whatever sightseeing I can do is which restaurants can I go to? Something which is special, different. So I like to try these. I don't know how many Michelin star restaurants I've been eating at. For me, it's art. It's art. It's a very passionate thing. So I do enjoy that very much. And I absolutely have noticed that the Michelin guide is coming. And to be very honest, this is one of the reasons why I'm here. Because this was very obvious already last year that they will be coming, and that's certainly one of the goals we are having. Our opening Akuna restaurant, we want to be in that book.
Yeah.
And that's our goal, and this is our passion, and we're very excited to have them here. So the first round, we've been a little bit late to the game, to be honest, but next year.
Yeah, next year, right? There's
We're just warming up.
many years to go, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So street food and restaurant, which one do you prefer?
Oh, that depends on my mood.
Okay.
3 o'clock in the morning, street food. No,
Otherwise,
it is. There's fantastic street food. I love sometimes just to go on the street and buy one of these baos. They're just very, very delicious. And sometimes that's even better than whatever the cleanest, nicest food in a Michelin star restaurant. So it depends a bit on the mood, but I think it's two different art pieces, I would say.
Right. So the top 3 street food on your list.
I have to admit that in Vietnam I still have to discover this a little bit, and I wouldn't be able to tell you the name of that place, but in a small little side street behind our hotel, sometimes in the evening there's this guy who's selling these baos, and I really like them. It's very nice. It's very nice. Spaghettis which you have as well is something very nice. So this kind of street food is something I absolutely love.
The next part we gonna have like quick question and answers. Like I have 17 question
Mhm.
lined up for you, so
Okay.
it's very quick, and like this is the second part.
Okay.
All right. So, Mr. Kerfin, what is your personal style?
Aggressive, supportive, I would say, and passionate. I'm passionate, aggressive, supportive.
Awesome. A German, right? Very precise. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. And talk about an item that you recently bought or like.
Funny enough, I bought it. I don't have it yet because I ordered it. I'm traveling to Germany very soon. I ordered actually a perfume.
Mhm.
Egoist. Usually I'm not an egoist, but so Egoist from Chanel, and it's very difficult to get. So I had to order that in Germany, and this is something I'm excited about. I just bought that, I think, the day before yesterday.
All right. Good choice. Motorbike or car?
Bike.
Motorbike. You know how to drive?
Absolutely. I drive everything. I'm German.
All right. All right.
As long as it had wheels, I drive it.
All right. Sounds good to me. All right. A meaningful architectural place that you have been or you recently visit or discover in Vietnam?
I think the Independence Place was something I was pretty impressed about. That was stunning. It was stunning to see. Yeah.
Okay. And talk about your personal shoe or grooming collection.
Yeah. I think I have a mix out of it, depending on the mood and the occasions. It can be either very very classy, very very stylish, but I'm more of a lifestyle person. I like to dress as well, chic but comfortable. So I think that would be my style, I would say.
Sustainable fashion or furniture brand that you care about or you want to purchase.
I discovered the other day, a friend of mine introduced that to me. I haven't bought it yet, but there is, again, I like fashion. I like dress properly. There's a tailor, Cao Min. Is it Cao Min?
Yeah.
I heard about that, and anything I heard and read about it is very exciting. So I can't wait to find finally time to get there and get me some new
All right. All
new
right.
dresses.
Calvin, that's a good suggestion. He's a good friend of mine too.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
fantastic.
Nicholas.
Okay, great.
All right. So, are you a fan of collecting the rare item? Like vintage watch, shoes, or art pieces?
I'm collecting experiences. That's for me the thing is when you're looking at collection, I think it's one thing experience. I like anything which whatever, jumping off planes, bungee jumping, whale watching, car racing, anything like that. So things which these bucket list kind of items. So I think in 3 weeks, 3 weeks, I will be in Dubai and I will be skydiving, and I'm very excited about it. So these kind of experience, this is my collection.
Right. Good answer, actually.
Thank you.
And so, how many items in your bucket list?
Oh, my bucket.
Have you ever counted yet?
You have this famous 100 bucket list, right? But I think my bucket list is actually a little bit. I have the feeling that I tick 3 things off and I get 5 new ones. So it's an endless bucket list. It's a huge bucket, and I hope I get the chance to tick off as many as possible. And if it takes another 50, 60 years, I'm happy with that too.
Okay, very cool. And which art piece that have changed your viewpoint of life? Any?
Food. For me, again, I keep referring to that as food as art.
Food.
But I grew up in an environment where food was not that important. It was something like you eat in order not to to fill your stomach and all that. But it was not like you looked at it as an art piece. And having worked in that Michelin star restaurant the first time, I got a very different perception about food can be art, not only by the flavors, by the taste, but the way it looks, the way it's presented. So that is something which changed my perception completely.
Awesome. And you like book?
I do like books. Yeah, I don't find enough times, but I do like books.
Any title that you want to share?
So the last one I actually enjoyed reading was not sure if this is the right, was a Landslide. It's about Donald Trump, actually. That was a quite interesting one. But I think my future favorite book, I think from next year onwards, will be Michelin Guide. I will be happy to read that as often as possible and see my restaurant in there.
Good. All right. Skyscraper that you find yourself in love with. Where at?
I would say 2. There are 2 which I like very much. One is the Mahanakhon building in Bangkok. pretty amazing. It looks like a Tetris building. I like Bangkok as a city.
You've been there for too long.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and in the Mahanakhon building, there's actually a beautiful Mexican restaurant. So it combines this born in Mexico,
Right.
Mexican food, but it's a very fine dining restaurant. So beautiful Mexican food in the sunset over Bangkok, stunning. The other building is I think that's a bit of a classic, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. I like Dubai. Refer to it as a bit like a Disneyland. It doesn't have enough culture and all that, but it has great excitement in Dubai. So,
Right.
so Burj Khalifa, Mahanakhon building. These are the two
Yeah.
skyscrapers. I would
And the
say.
good thing that in the next 3 weeks, you're in Dubai, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. What are the recurring activity that twice a year or every 6 months that you usually plan for?
One of the things I'm usually most excited about is, again, I get usually the chance once a year to fly back to Germany to meet my family and all of that. So certainly meeting the family is great, but the highlight for me is I'm flying into Frankfurt,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to drive about 400 kilometers to the place I live and my family lives.
Okay.
I rent a car.
All right.
I rent a beautiful car,
Which
something
one?
top end. So last time it was a BMW 850.
Mm-hmm.
And in Germany, I mean, as you know, you can drive in some parts as fast as you want.
Autobahn.
Right.
Yeah.
So I arrive there early in the morning, not much traffic. I take this car and I basically shoot this down, 260,
Oh, shit.
open roof.
Wow. That's awesome. That's really cool, right?
And that's the stuff I'm looking forward to, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Exciting. The most recent track on your playlist is German song.
Oh, no, it's not. We're not good in music. We're good in building cars. We're not good in music. It's actually legends are made. This is how legends are made. I'm not sure if you know that. It's a
No, for
okay.
US, UK, right? Yeah.
It's a quite a nice song. I like it.
I'm not familiar with
Okay.
Rap music. No, myself.
Sure, absolutely should know.
Alright. And if you have different life,
Mhm.
what kind of life would you choose?
I wouldn't mind to be a Formula One driver.
Mm-hmm.
Tick box.
Yeah, nice answer. What are your favorite sport car brand?
Ooh, very different. I recently saw an Aston Martin, which I really liked, DB12.
DB12.
Yeah.
I was in Singapore like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and it's the first DB12 launched in Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's a beautiful car.
Aston Martin.
Aston
yeah.
Martin.
Comes with James Bond. So.
Yep. And the last question is, what the best encouragement you ever received?
I think two different parts. There's a professional encouragement, and I worked for a couple of years for Minor International in Thailand. Minor International, Bill Heineke, and he's known as a very, very tough business leader and boss. And I mean, general managers are afraid of him. And I was not running a hotel. I was a number 2 at that time, and I was walking with him, and he was giving me heat for some things which were happening in the hotel, and why not this, and your average rate is not big enough, and all these kind of things. And he can do this within 5 minutes, just escorting him to breakfast. And he sat down and he says, Lars, I know I criticize a lot, but I'm not here to tell you what you're doing right. I'm here to tell you what you could do better. But you're doing a lot of things right already. That from a person like Bill Heineke, that was one of the best encouragement compliments. Oh my God! On a professional scale,
Yeah.
On a private scale, my biggest I think encouragement I got was the yes from my wife Connie when I asked her to marry me.
All right.
And from my son when he once referred to me as the best puppy in the world. Puppy is the German word for daddy. So these, I think, would be my 3 best encouragements I had.
In your personal life, you are a very like family-oriented guy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Refer to your answer. All right, everyone. So this is it for our conversation with Mr. Kerfin, the general managers of the Méridien Saigon. And I think like during our conversation, you have a better insights of the tourism and luxury traveling industry in Vietnam. And we hope that you still supported to the next episode of the Grand Hour, the best of Vietnam from Luxor Media. And again, thank you for coming. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you.
Very appreciated.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.